Let's go ahead and start your first letter. In this case, I have collapsed my ribbons. The reason I did that is because I'd like you to see more of the paper than all the tools at the top. So that was simply a double click on one of the ribbon tabs. Every letter generally starts with the date. It happens to be November when I'm typing this, so as I type the fourth letter of November, notice the tooltip that pops up above. It's trying to save me time in typing. I might not know how to spell it, so all I have to do is hit enter, as it says in the tooltip. Press enter to insert. There we go. But I want the rest of the date. As soon as I hit my space bar, look what happens. It's offering me the rest of the date. It's assuming I want to put in today's date, and I do, so I'm going to accept that and be happy about it and hit enter again. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter a couple times, put some space between the date and the salutation or the greeting, and I'll go ahead and enter a very proper one. Hit enter to move my insertion point down to the next line, and I'd like to say November is a good time of year. Well, as I start typing NOVE for November, I'll hit enter to accept it, but now I'm going to hit space bar, and it wants me to put the date in there again. You can ignore those and just keep typing. Yes, I want to help you with the tooltips, but if you want to ignore it and just keep typing, that is fine as well. All right, I do need some placeholder text in here, so I'm going to use an old school cheat called the random formula. And I'm just going to put in 3 paragraphs of 3 sentences. So equals rand parenthesis 3 comma 3 in parentheses. As soon as I hit enter, this is simply what we call placeholder text. So you don't have to type a bunch of text to practice. There we go. All right. So I've got a nice little letter with 3 paragraphs. And now it's time to end the letter with our complimentary closing, and that is generally the word sincerely. So I'm going to go ahead and type it wrong. Okay, I just made a typo, and I'm going to press comma and space bar, and look what happened. A red squiggle underline lit up under sincerely. Well, I made a typo. Well, it caught that for me, so the quickest way to fix it is simply to right click on top of it. So I'm moving my I-beam or my mouse over the top of the word sincerely, pressing my right click button on my mouse, and notice the drop down list. It's giving me options. First of all, spelling. See this little ABC over here with the red squiggle? That's exactly what the match is. So we know that's where I want to stay. We have sincerely, sincerely. We can add it to the dictionary or ignore it. Maybe I have an unusual last name, and my last name is always getting these red squiggle underlines. Well, add your last name to the dictionary, and it'll stop thinking it's a misspelling, or ignore all of them. Either way, I can choose the capital one or the lowercase. It doesn't matter, but please notice on the right-hand side, we have an arrow. When we click the arrow, we can have the computer read the word to us. Maybe we don't know how to pronounce it. So you could hit read aloud. We could change all of them. Maybe there's a bunch of misspellings. I spelled it wrong multiple times. We can add it to the autocorrect so it never tells us again. It just fixes it from here on out and never tells us it's wrong. Or we could look at all the autocorrect options. Right now I am going to go ahead and just click this sincerely to choose it. There we go. I'll hit enter a couple times and type your customer. Okay, sincerely your customer. Now our letter is complete. The last thing we have to do with a brand new document is to save it. So right up here on the top, on our quick access toolbar, we have the symbol of save, and when we float our mouse there, it says Control S. So I have an option. I can click the button or press Control S on my keyboard. I'll go ahead and just click that button, and I'm going to choose where I want to save it. And I'll say this PC. It's going to save in the documents file, and I'm going to call it, let's see, customer inquiry. There we go. And I'll go ahead and hit save. The one thing you'll notice when we come back to the document is the title bar now says customer inquiry. So success, your letter is written, you have saved it. Just print it, put it in an envelope, and put a stamp on it, and you're done.